Listen, close your eyes. Do you hear that? It is a low hum. It is the sound of the world. It is the sound of your lights. This sound was born in a storm. In 1856, the sky opened up. Lightning hit the ground. A baby was born. His name was Nikola Tesla. The midwife was afraid. She called him child of darkness. His mother said no. She said he was a child of light. She was right. But light is hard to own. Have you ever felt like you were too far ahead? This is the story of a man who saw the future. He saw a world without wires. He saw energy for everyone. But he did not understand one thing. He did not understand the system. The system wants to sell. It does not want to give. I ask you, are you working for a dream or for a boss? Tesla lived for the dream. He came to America with 4 cents. He had a letter of recommendation. It was for Thomas Edison. Edison was already famous. He was the wizard of Menlo Park. He was a businessman or a person who makes money. Tesla was an inventor or a person who makes things. This was a first spark. It was a clash or a big fight. Edison used direct current. We call it DC. It was weak. It could only travel 1 mile. You needed a power plant on every corner. Tesla saw a better way. He saw alternating current. We call it AC. It was strong. It could travel hundreds of miles. But Edison had already invested money. He had a system. He had an incentive or a reason to stay the same. Tesla worked for Edison for 1 year. He fixed Edison's machines. Edison promised him $50,000. That was a lot of money. Tesla finished the job. He asked for the payment. Edison laughed at him. He said Tesla did not understand American humor. This was the first lesson. Great ideas do not win by being good. They win by making sense to the people with the money. Tesla quit that day. He walked out into the cold. He had no job. He had no money. He dug ditches to survive. He put his hands in the dirt. He was a genius digging holes. But he kept his idea. He knew AC was the future. He just needed a partner. He needed someone to fight the system. But the system is like a wall. It is built to keep new things out. Tesla's brain was a lightning bolt. The world was a wooden house. Something had to burn. Tesla finally found his partner. His name was George Westinghouse. George was a bold man. He saw the power of AC. He bought Tesla's patents. A patent is a legal paper for an idea. The War of the Currents began. It was a dirty war. Edison was angry. He wanted to protect his DC system. He started a campaign. A campaign is a planned set of actions. He wanted to make people afraid. He told them AC was deadly. He said it would kill you in your sleep. Edison did terrible things. He killed animals with AC. He did it in public. He wanted the crowds to watch. He used a big elephant named Topsy. He sent 6,000 volts through her body. The air smelled of smoke. People screamed. This was the dark side of business. Edison wanted to win at any cost. He did not care about the truth. He cared about the system. Tesla stayed quiet. He worked in his lab. He created a light that did not need a filament. A filament is the wire inside a bulb. He let electricity flow through his body. He stood on a stage. He held glowing tubes in his hands. He looked like a god. The blue fire danced on his skin. He did not die. He proved AC was safe. He proved Edison was wrong. But the war cost money. High prices. Great stress. Westinghouse was losing millions. The banks were worried. They told Westinghouse to stop. They said Tesla's royalties were too high. A royalty is a payment for every unit sold. Tesla was supposed to be a billionaire. He had a contract. The contract was worth millions. Westinghouse wanted to see Tesla. He was honest. He said the company was dying. He asked for help. Tesla did not think about the money. He thought about the light. He thought about the world. He took the contract. He tore it into small pieces. He gave away his wealth. He did it for his friend. He did it for his dream. This was a noble act, or a very good deed, but it was a fatal mistake. In our world, money is armor. Without money, you are naked. Tesla was now a genius without a shield. He won the war of the currents. AC became the standard. Your house uses AC today. Tesla won the battle, but he was losing the war. The system rewarded the standard. It did not reward the creator. Tesla was free, but he was also poor. He moved to the Waldorf Astoria. It was a very fancy hotel. He lived like a king on credit. He had big plans. He wanted to go beyond wires. He wanted to send power through the air. He wanted to talk to the stars. Tesla looked at the sky. He saw a giant battery. The earth has energy. The air has energy. He wanted to tap into it. He needed a new investor. He found J.P. Morgan. Morgan was the king of money. He was a titan, or a very powerful person. He gave Tesla $150,000. It was a start. Tesla went to Colorado Springs. He built a giant lab. He built a coil. It was 50 feet tall. It was the Tesla coil. When he turned it on, the world shook. Thunder roared for 15 miles. The grass turned blue. Butterflies had halos of fire. It was a miracle. Tesla found the resonance of the earth. Resonance is a special vibration. He proved he could send power through the ground. He lit 200 lamps from 25 miles away. There were no wires, just the earth. Tesla was happy. He felt like a giant, but he kept a secret. He told Morgan he was building a radio. He told him he would send messages across the ocean. But Tesla's real goal was different. He wanted to send power, free power, for everyone. This was the information asymmetry, or a gap in knowledge. Morgan thought he was buying a phone company. Tesla thought he was building a utopia. A utopia is a perfect world. Tesla returned to New York. He started building Wardenclyffe Tower. It was a massive tower on Long Island. It looked like a mushroom made of steel. It was 187 feet high. It had a giant copper top. People called it Tesla's $1 million folly. Folly means a foolish thing. Tesla worked day and night. He was obsessed, or he could not stop thinking about it. He forgot to sleep. He forgot to eat. He spoke to the pigeons, but the money was running out. Prices for steel went up. Prices for labor went up. Tesla asked Morgan for more. Morgan was a coal man. He looked at the tower. He asked one question. Where do I put the meter? A meter is a tool to measure and charge money. Tesla did not have an answer. If everyone can get power for free, no one can sell it. This was the break. The system incentives were clear. Morgan did not want to help the world. He wanted to own the world. He stopped the funding. He told other investors to stay away. He blacklisted Tesla. Blacklist means to put someone on a do not help list. The tower stood empty. It was a skeleton of a dream. Tesla waited for a miracle. He waited for a letter, but the mail was silent. Tesla sat in his dark room. He watched the news. A man named Marconi was in the papers. Marconi was an Italian inventor. He was younger than Tesla. He was using Tesla's patents. He was building a radio. It was not as good as Tesla's. It was simple. It was cheap, but it worked. On December 12, 1901, Marconi sent a signal. It went across the Atlantic Ocean. The world went crazy. Marconi was a hero. Tesla was angry. He said Marconi is using 17 of my patents. He said let him continue. But the system does not care about who is first. It cares about who is finished. Marconi was a businessman. He had investors. He had a market. A market is a group of people who want to buy. Tesla was a perfectionist. A perfectionist is someone who wants everything to be 100% right. He wanted the tower to be perfect. He wanted the whole world to have power. Marconi just wanted to send a beep. The beep won. The good enough idea beat the great idea. This is a hard truth. People often choose the easy path. They do not want the best. They want what is ready. Morgan saw Marconi's success. He knew he made the right choice. He left Tesla in the dust. Tesla's mind began to crack. He became strange. He washed his hands 3 times. He hated pearls. He was afraid of germs. He started to have visions. He saw flashes of light in the air. He thought he was receiving signals from Mars. The press laughed at him. They called him a mad scientist. This was the psychological descent, or the falling of his mind. He was alone. His lab in New York burned down. All his notes were gone. All his models were ashes. He had no insurance. He had nothing. He moved to cheaper hotels. He could not pay the bills. He moved again and again. He left trunks of papers as payment. These were the secrets of his life. But the hotel owners just wanted cash. They did not see the value of his brain. They saw a crazy old man. Tesla started to talk to a white pigeon. He said he loved the pigeon. He said the pigeon loved him. This was his only friend. The man who could have been the richest person in history was now feeding birds. He was a ghost in the city he built. The lights of New York were bright. They were powered by his AC. But his own room was dark. He had no money for the bill. The year was 1917. The world was at war. America needed metal. They looked at Wardenclyffe Tower. It was 18 years old. It was rusting. It was a target for spies. The government ordered the tower to be destroyed. They used dynamite. Dynamite is an explosive. They blew up the tower. It took several tries. The tower was strong. It did not want to fall. Tesla watched from a distance. Each blast was a hit to his heart. The steel was sold for scrap. Scrap is old metal for recycling. It was sold for $1,750. $1 million dream sold for a few coins. This was the final proof. Great ideas can be killed. If they do not fit the system, they are recycled. Tesla lived for 25 more years. He became more eccentric, or very unusual. He claimed to have a death ray. He said it could stop all wars. He tried to sell it to the government. They did not listen. They thought he was a dreamer. But Tesla was not dreaming. He was seeing. He saw the world as it could be. We live in his world now. You're watching this because of him. Your phone, your Wi-Fi, your remote control. These were all his ideas. But he died in room 3327 of the New Yorker hotel. He died alone. A maid found him 2 days later. He had no money. He had no family. He had a box of medals. The system took his ideas. It gave him nothing back. Why? Because he did not play the game. He did not build a meter. He did not care about profit. He cared about the truth. But the truth does not pay the rent. The world is a hungry machine. It eats geniuses and spits out products. This is the tragedy of Nikola Tesla. He was a man out of time. He was a god among men. But he was also a man among sharks. So why did Tesla lose? He did not lose because he was wrong. He lost because he was too right. He wanted to change the world. The world just wanted to stay the same. The system rewards things that make money. It rewards things that can be owned. You cannot own the wind. You cannot own the earth. Tesla tried to give us the keys to the universe. We prefer to stay in the cage. We chose the meter over the miracle. Look at your life. Look at the tools you use. Do you see the hum of the AC? That is Tesla. Do you see the radio in your car? That is Tesla. Do you see the remote on your table? That is Tesla. He is everywhere. But his name was almost forgotten. For years, textbooks only spoke of Edison. They spoke of the businessman. They ignored the creator. But names can return. Ideas can wake up. We are finally learning. We are seeing that free might be better than profitable. We are looking at the sun and the wind. We are trying to build Wardenclyffe again. But the system is still here. It still wants to put a meter on your life. At the end, I ask you, look in the mirror. Are you an Edison? Or are you a Tesla? Do you work for the profit? Or do you work for the light? Most of us are forced to be Edisons. We have to pay the bills. We have to survive. But we need the Teslas. We need the people who dare to dream of free things. We need the people who do not care about the meter. Tesla died poor, but he left us a world of light. He died alone, but he is with us every time we flip a switch. Great ideas don't always win the race, but they always change the world. The system may break the man, but cannot break the light. Tesla knew this. He told us. He said, "The future is mine." He was right. We are living in his future. The hum continues. The light stays on. And the pigeon? It finally flew away. But the spark remains. It is in you. What will you do with it? Will you sell it? Or will you set it free? Choose wisely. The world is watching, and the system is waiting.